Hello everyone, we are here, we are live, we are ready to go. I actually have sound and everything. So welcome. This is, for those people that are new to this series, this is my Kerbalism live stream series where I play with a whole stack of mods, and those mods are down there in the description if you want to go and check them out. And in this chunk of 9, in which this is part 2, my eventual goal is going to be to get to Ike. But in order to do that, I need to unlock a lot more science, and this is a step in that direction. These are 3 relays that I built last week, and their idea is just to improve the bandwidth that I'm getting from the moon so that the science lab that I now have in orbit about the moon can transmit the science from surface samples that will get hopefully collected from the surface of the moon and transmit them back to Kerbin in a reasonably expedient manner. Hey there, Clay. So anyway, so that's basically the mission today. Get these guys in orbit about the moon and inserted. Then I'm going to be building me a lander, because there isn't a lander there yet, and we're going to be taking that out towards the moon. And hopefully as well, I don't have any scientists there. The only people in orbit about the moon right now are Jeb and Bill. So a pilot and an engineer. I would like to get a scientist there as well. All right, hello Dan, hello technical support, hello Di. Okay, so anyway, I've already worked out the orbital insertion part. You can see it coming out here, and we're going to get our insertion about the moon. So I think probably my best plan is to, we're going to run my maneuver executor from KOX, and I'm going to do some time warping, which is also preceded now by quick saving, because I've had all kinds of I don't know, I seem to get into the most adventures whenever I time warp. There we go, and we're almost there. There we go. And we'll run the maneuver executor, so it's orienting itself, it's getting itself all set and ready to go. And you might recall from last week that I did have some technical problems with some crashing, and in fact, when I went back and investigated, I took a 2 months hiatus from this particular stream, and the last stream before last week, which was 2 months ago, I also had a crash. So I definitely started to investigate what the heck was going on. So I have taken some steps to mitigate that. So I'm hoping that this will go a heck of a lot more smoothly without any more crashes. I have, thanks to the advice and help from some people on my Discord, I have changed Windows to save its cache files to my speediest drive as opposed to the default drive, which was actually one of my slower drives. So that actually right away, that just helped. I didn't even know you could get Windows to do that. And then I also installed another 16 gigabytes of RAM, doubling my RAM to 32, and I'm hoping, like when I did some actual what resources are being stressed out the most, RAM was definitely the most. So I doubled up the amount of RAM that I have on the computer. So I'm hoping that all is going to help. Anyway, we can see our burn here is well underway. Yeah, with the mighty, what do we got on this thing? Just a spark engine, is it not? It is just a mighty spark engine. So, yeah, we got 3 satellites, as you can see, to drop off. And we're going over the process of doing that for those people that have not do that, how to get 3 satellites nicely equally spaced around a particular body. Okay, so we're closing off here with the burn. Let's take a look at how things are going at the moon's end. So that got done. I'm not quite sure if it's close enough. We can should have gone a little further, but you know what? We'll tweak that when we get out towards the moon. How many ignitions do I have on this thing? Oh, the heck with it. No, let's turn the thrust down. We can do that. I got 14 more ignitions. Gotta watch that with Kerbalism. So I'll just bring it stopped a little early. We'll just turn the thrust down. Boink. There we go. That's pretty good. That looks much better. You can already see some of my other janky relays that I got around here. They have sort of drifted. Oh, these guys aren't so bad. Put on the communication lines. They drift a little. I put some in polar orbit. Oh my gosh. Turn that off. That hurts my head. These guys haven't drifted too bad. The polar ones have drifted pretty badly. They have those slower antennas. So that's what this is about, is to get some faster antennas. There is a trick, by the way, that maybe I'll get to for having them so that they'll never drift ever again. But for now, let's see. How is this? Oh my gosh, we can do all of our adjustments once we're there, can't we? Yeah, I don't think there's anything worth worrying about. So we're going to adjust this onto this vector just for solar panel purposes. Let's put it back on orbital. Yeah, I'll talk Christian about... you'll never get them perfect in-game, but there is a cheaty out-of-game thing you can do to make them perfect if you wanted to, if you feel like you've done it close enough. But anyway, I think we can probably do that. Let's get out there to the SOI. And in fact, let's start using Kerbal Alarm Clock more. In my stock game, I've been gotten used to the alarm clock that's built into the game, but honestly, it's kind of sketchy. Maybe it's just me, but I feel it's kind of sketchy. Okay, let's get out there. The other thing that I have done since last week is I have, at least for now, uninstalled Parallax. So Parallax is... Oh, that is RoveMate 2B Probe. Let's turn those alarms off right now. Giving me alarms about batteries. Oh, that's just... oh, that'll never live again. These are probably a part of a sky crane or something like that. Okay, never mind. I'm going to not worry about that. We'll never get warnings from that. It'll get one warning that it's dead, and then we'll never hear from him again. Hello there, Raymond. We got some... oh, that's mapping. Oh, nice. 12 credits. Oh, cool. So I think Kerbalism might be getting along a little bit better, and then our RoveMate 2 is now officially dead. That's not the actual RoveMate 2. That was the Sky Crane, I think, that dropped RoveMate 2, or the booster stage, or whatever it was, that's crashed on the surface of the moon. Okay, come on. Oh, that's the alarm clock. Now let's get in there. Okay, let's see what we can do to tweak this a little bit. Let's get rid of these other relays. They're just clogging the view here. So there is a perfect orbit. I say that loosely only because I got a video that has the clicky title of calculating the perfect relay orbit about the moons. But I do have a very specific orbit in mind of 377.35. So what I'm going to do is see if I can get that right on there. So I'm going to tweak down this thrust a whole lot. Put this on the radially in vector. So 377.35 kilometers. Let's see how close I can get to that. I'm going to go very slowly because I don't want to do more than one of these. Like I got limited ignitions. So 6, 5, 4, close enough. Okay. And my inclination, it's up here, is 0.29. How far are we from? We are 2 hours. Let's see if we can fix our inclination at the same time as well. So we are, according to Kerbal Engineer, 2 hours and 2 minutes from our equatorial ascending node with the moon. So I'm gonna use that as an you know what? No, the heck with it. We'll get the inclination down to 0 when we do our capture. So we're gonna capture here into not a final orbit, but an orbit with a period that is 4/3 of the period of what my final orbit would be. And that period, I should actually be able to get it. Oh, it's on. No, you can use it here. It's one of the nice things that Where's the period one? Periods down here on the bottom. That period will be, I think, 1 day and 2 hours, if I'm not mistaken. With an apoapsis, I worked it out of... I wrote it down somewhere. 621.5. Oh, 621.5. So obviously, 4 hours is what I'm shooting for. That makes more sense. Yeah. Sorry, whenever I work things out and then weeks later I'm actually doing it, I'm always like, what did I do again? So I want the period of this orbit to be 4 hours, because the period of the final orbit is going to be 3/4 of that, and you'll see how, or in other words, 3 hours, and you'll see how that all is going to work well for me. But I'm going for an apoapsis of 621.5. That should be very close to. Let's tweak down this maneuver even further. Oops. Let's do it this way. There we go. That's 6 seconds. I need a little bit more off. That's too much. 6:20. Well, that's pretty good right there. That's exactly what I want. So this period here is going to be 4 hours. This is the one nice thing that the stock things here do, is if you have this selected, if you have the maneuver selected, it's giving you the apoapsis and period and orbital info of the one that you're into. Yeah, it's saying I don't have enough fuel. Oh, okay. I noticed this at the end of the stream, and I honestly do think, let's put this all together. I do think the game is confused. Somebody's pointing out in the chat there. Thanks, Rob. I'm out of fuel. I don't have enough fuel. The burn's 173.5. But it says here I have only 146 left. But if I go to Kerbal Engineer, it says I have 282 left. And I don't think that's counting the satellites. I honestly think the game might be confused. Could it maybe not be counting this fuel? No, that ain't it. Okay, well, what we're going to find out. Either, I don't think it's counting the satellite fuel. We'll find out. I'm hoping this is wrong, because I did work it all out ahead of time. I guess we're going to find out. So what we'll do is we will get our X-Man script all queued up here. Oh no, we want to fix our period. Silly me. Period. We want our period to be, or our inclination, I'm sorry, to be 0. So let's select that maneuver again. And I have no idea which way is this going to make it. Oh, this, I can't get it to 0 from this. Oh, for goodness sakes. Okay. We're off to a confusing start. I'm going to 0 out my inclination right now and then retweak this maneuver. So we're going to tweak down this thrust. It's already tweaked down. And we are, according to Kerbal Engineer, 1 hour and 54 minutes away from our equatorial ascending node. So I'm going to time warp to that. I'll probably have to retweak this burn. And I'm really hoping the game is confused as to how much fuel I have left. Because if it isn't, I am in a little bit of trouble. I'll have to figure something out. I thought I had this all worked out. Kerbal Engineer is probably wrong. Oh, it might have to do with root parts. That's very possible. Thank you, somebody in the chat suggesting that it might be that. Let's go to this and see if I can control from here. I don't know where that's hidden. Oh, I'm still time warping. Control from here. That didn't change anything. Okay. Either way, we'll fix this. So anyway, we're 20 minutes. No, where are we? Where are we? Oh, we're going to be getting to our Apple. Okay, forget it. Oh my gosh. Now I'm noticing my periapsis is before my ascending node. Okay, let's go through this just one more time. I can't fix my inclination yet. We'll fix our inclination after. That's if we have any fuel left. Okay. What am I looking for? I'm looking for orbital period of 4 hours. That's all perfect. Okay. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Run that X-Man script, so it's going to reorient itself. We're going to find out really quickly whether the game is right or whether Kerbal Engineer is right in terms of how much fuel I got left. Oh shoot, I just realized something here as well. I still have my thrust vector down to nothing. Boink, boink. We should abort this. Run X-Man again. I noticed all of a sudden the time of the burn was ridiculous. Okay. Try that again. Turn up the thrust limiter. NC Davis says, yeah. I was just ahead of you on that. Either that or you posted it and I just noticed it, but okay. Alright, here comes the moment of truth. Is this right that I don't have enough fuel? We are going to find out. Well, I mean, one way we're going to get a capture. So technically, but I don't have a way of refueling this because there's no docking ports or anything on it. Right, I used decouplers up here. Yeah, I did. All right, we're going to find out. Oh. Yeah, ascending node is after the periapsis. I would have noticed that at some point. Well, I did notice it. Okay, what do we got? 10 seconds. Hello, Thomas, and welcome. We're about to find out whether my planning has all gone to pot or not. Here we go. Here comes the moment of truth. Oh, I'm worried. That's it. How did that get messed up so badly? And I guess Kerbal Engineer is counting. Kerbal Engineer. Where's Kerbal Engineer's? No, now it says 02. So Kerbal Engineer was wrong. The game was right. Well, that's disheartening. Then I think what I'm going to have to do... Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, we got an orbit. Just ran out. I'll have to go back over and try and figure out where did I mess up. Oh, this is still running here. Sorry. Find out where I messed up here. But what we'll do... we're going to forget about inclination. That's small potatoes now. What we'll do is we'll ride around once. And we'll drop a satellite. And hopefully, though, I mean, the period of all of this is going to be all messed up. Send a refueling probe with a grappler. That might be the better plan. Dan just said, because I don't have docking ports, but if I put a grappler on it, that might be the best. You know what? I think Dan's right. I was about to go and just start dropping these satellites and just get them into whatever orbit that I can, but clearly I messed up. We know I find annoying is I do have Jeb and Bill just sitting in moon orbit with a ship with a ton of Delta V. They could fly out here, but there's just nothing for them to do. How'd I mess that up? Oh, well. Well, what I'm going to do is I guess we're going to go visit Jeb and Bill. That's what we're going to do. So, Jeb and Bill are in a station. I have one quick mission to do. So let's set that as a target. No, not set it as a target. What am I doing? I want to switch to it. Duh. Does the ship have fuel lines? No. Nope. Do the stock fuel lines do anything between ships? Can you do that? I know KOS, there was a mod, not KOS, I'm sorry, Kerbal Attachment System, KAS, was a mod that you could, that came with fuel lines that you could use to hook things up, but I don't think you can do that with stock. I've never really tried. Anyway, Bill, I want to strut up these batteries right here. I'll show them. I was actually mentioning this briefly and then didn't know where my struts were, and then I found where my struts. But this is all kind of shaky in here when I reorient this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get out Bill. I'm going to check. Yep, he is full of monopropellant, I believe. It gets so screwy. No, he has no monopropellant. Gosh dang it. There's a... Okay, wait. There's a ladder right here. He has no monopropellant. There is a ladder right there, Bill. Oh, he just bounced off. He's going further away. Okay. Let's get to Jeb. Ding dang dong it. That bug drives me crazy. Okay, so let's open up. I think this cargo button doesn't work. Okay, so I do have somewhere, I think, some spare. This is always turning into fun. No. Here. Inventory. Ha 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 ha. See that? EVA fuel propellant. So we're going to go to Jebediah. Okay. Pin that. Jebediah, we got Bill here. Okay, I'm pretty sure Jeb's going to get the same. Oh no, he's full of monopropellant. How the heck does this work that it works that way? Okay, so we're going to take his parachute. Shoot. Inventory. You put that there, and then can I put this to here? Yes. Okay. Where are you, Bill? Where'd he go? There he is. I think I can get this to work. Bill's like, help me! Help me! Okay. So. Inventory. I need to get rid of your parachute and give you this. Okay. I'm hoping this is... Now if I go to Bill, I've actually never used this. Does he? Oh, now he just flat out has monopropellant. He's using it from his spare tank. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we can get Bill back inside. Oh my lordy lord. There is some wacky glitch. So we're going to take Bill's spare tank, put it there. We have a spare EVA pack. And now he's full of monopropellant. Okay. Alright, so Bill's good. That worked out alright, having those spare tanks about. I'm just gonna, there's a ladder. I was hoping for a moment that Bill was just gonna happen to drift near this ladder and then that was gonna save him. Okay, let's get Jeb. Where's Jeb? Jeb. Jeb's just gotta get back inside. We need to minimize the number of Kerbals. So that is a Kerbalism glitch that I need to be more cognizant of. That somehow steals your monopropellant. Okay, get aboard there, Jebediah. Board. Okay, and now we're back on Bill. Bill should be good. Now, up, way up here. These are struts, even though the image for some reason is gone. So I want to grab... What? Seriously? Okay, I wonder if I can move them between containers then. Oh, it's going to be that way, is it? Okay. Is the strut's too big for Bill to carry, so there is another container down here closer at hand. I'm wondering... No, Bill's too far. Okay. I'm going to get him part way down here. Is there a spot where we can get both those inventories? No, now I've lost this inventory. Okay. Then what we'll do... I think if I go inside, can I transfer? I can transfer between containers inside. There we go. Oh my gosh. And now the strut pictures are back. Okay, back to Bill. Eventually I'll get this to work. Okay, inventory. That's what I want to see. And then now I want to do some strutting. So I'm going to grab one of these. That's not how you do it. Isn't it? Oh no, I gotta go into construct mode. There we go. Grab one of these. There. To here. There, was that so hard? That's all I wanted to do. That's all I wanted to do. We're gonna do 4 of these. Oh, I see. Okay, we'll do 3. Because I noticed the lights are on 3-way symmetry, so I'll match that. That works. That's all I want. I don't want much. Ooh, I can see some wobbling happening here already with the struts. Okay, this is making me nervous. Let's take these off for a second. Started wobbling as soon as I put the struts on. I think I got some shaky physics going on here. Maybe where it needs to be is actually... Can I get from here all the way to... No, that's too far, isn't it? How far can I stretch this? I didn't like that shaking that was happening. Now it's coming back again. Okay, maybe I'm best leaving this alone. See how this... I'm hoping people can see the shake. You can place the struts without an engineer? Really? I always thought you needed an engineer. Alright, I'm thinking I might just leave well enough alone. I had this huge idea that I was gonna do that, and now I'm changing my mind. All that adventure was for naught. We'll get Bill back inside. And bored. Alright, the Kerbal voices, I'm seeing in the chat, someone saying they don't have the Kerbal voices. The Kerbal voices are coming from a mod. So, in the stock game, you don't get those voices you're hearing right there. Okay, I'm going into the space, let's build something. Going to the Space Center. So this is, had 2 missions to start this off with. One was inserting those relays. That kind of didn't quite work out. And then another one was strutting up those batteries. That didn't quite work out. So, let's hope it's not going to be 3 for 3 here. Let's hope that this is going to end up going a little bit better. Okay, so we are going to build a lander, because that's what we need out there. Is we need a lander to get some stuff done. Now I do have a Minmus lander that I built not too long ago, right here. Which, of course, is inappropriate to be landing... Oh my gosh, you're a stubby fellow, aren't you? I'll see. But what I'm interested in is not the booster here, but actually just the lander right there. Open those up. So this is my Minmus lander, and what I'm thinking of doing is modifying this to be able to land on the moon. Now, clearly, with its 865 meters per second at delta V, not going to be able to land on the moon. So I'm going to need to put on more fuel. So I'm going to add a tank down here. So we're going to let's get rid of all... Actually, I'm not going to be using these engines either because they're too wimpy. Keep the lights, put that to the side. Keep the blinky lights, put that to the side here. Actually, let's just stick them on top just for now to remind me that they're there. And let's just put a fuel tank on the bottom. Now this is a 3.5 meter part, so let's go... Well, maybe I can see which... That guy I think is my smallest 3.5 meter one. And then let's get an appropriate engine under there. And what I'm thinking, because if you noticed, I had like a bunch of ant engines on it. And the reason why I had ant engines on my Mun Lander was because Kerbalism does simulate engine failures. And if you have just a single engine and it fails during a descent, you know, that's turning into a panicky situation. So I put on multiple engines like that, but the ants aren't going to be enough for the moon. So I'm thinking, though, of doing much the same thing with these twitch engines. That's my thinking. So if I put on 4 of these twitch engines, that gets me 1,364 meters per second of delta. That's like in the ballpark of what I want. And a thrust of 1.46 is fine. And what's nice about having multiple engines is if one of these fails, let's say this engine failed at some point, what you can do is just shut down its opposite engine and we could run just on 2 engines. And I'm pretty sure that, let's just very, very quickly switch this to the moon. But I'm pretty sure on the moon here we have a thrust to weight of 8.80. So if I went to 2 engines, that's still thrust enough to get ourselves out of trouble. I like it. I like it. So that's going to be our propulsion right there. Is put that back on compact. Oh, let's take it back to Kerbin. I don't know why. I'm just used to thrust to weights from Kerbin. So there we go. I'm thinking that's looking okay, and this might be pretty quick. Oh, those are in the way of the RCS. So let's go with 4 of these micro landing struts. 4 of those. 1358 meters per second. What's in these containers here? I got a seismic thingy, a couple of solar panels. Yep, that's for setting up the those deployable. What did that come with? Breaking Ground? I guess it was the Breaking Ground DLC. Do I have other? I unlocked more since that. That's the goo one. That's there. That is the weather analyzer. That's useless. That's solar panel. That's the seismic thingy. That is the propane. I think that's, yeah. Oh, there's communication thing, but that doesn't matter for the moon. We will have communication. Heck, I think we're on it. I think this is going to be it. Let's going to translate these inwards. Get them kind of under. That looks pretty good. I'm sure these landing struts will. There it is. That'll be fine. Probably have to do something with this ladder. Yeah. Let's extend these. Yeah, let's replace the ladder with the longer one. And this will make this build go a lot quicker if I can just get this done. Look, bigger ladder, that's the one I'm looking for. Clearly don't want all that symmetry. And just sort of extend it out like that. I think that looks pretty good. Slide her down a little bit. You know, I think I can lose this little piece. No, just keep it all. That looks good. Okay. We'll test the ladder and make sure Kerbal can ascend and descend. Oh, I remember something about this lander. This, the little ladder bit, was upside down. And the Kerbals did some funny flippies. So we'll just spin this around this way. I recall very specifically that ladder being upside down. The Kerbal will come out and then he'd flip upside down and then he'd go the right way there. I can live with that. I can live with that. These are some red navigation lights. We'll just stick those on the bottom because Never can go wrong with more lights. Okay, what shape is that flag? You're talking about this flag down here. This is a Fibonacci spiral. That's what that is. You can, if you're not aware of what a Fibonacci spiral is, you can Google it. Pack the golf set. Yeah, I do have. Wait, there's inventory in here too. Yep, that's the golf set there, and that's a repair kit. So I do have a golf set and a repair kit to aboard landing lights. Stick these guys on the bottom here. Roll them like that. Drag them out, maybe up a little bit. I think that looks pretty good. Let's turn them on. Oh, that'll be ducky. Well, I don't know. I think I'm already kind of closing in on something here. What about? Let's. I'm looking at these thruster blocks, and then I think these guys are huge ones. Let's move these down because we got more mass down towards the bottom now than we did before. Let's turn on RCS build aid. And yeah, there is a respectable amount of torque because, oh, we can tell from the arrows, there's way more thrust on these top ones than there is on the bottom ones. So what we're going to do is we're going to tweak down the thrust limiter on that if I can find out where it is in all this stuff. Oh my gosh. Control? Yes. So what I'm just doing is I'm bringing down this torque. Don't need all that. I find, I don't know, I find the RC, oh my gosh, this is bringing it down a lot. I'm down to 0. How did it get, it can't be that I, oh, I was looking at thrust, not torque. Oh my gosh, silly. There we go, got a torque of 0.002 kilonewton meters. That would be fine. I've turned down the thrust on these guys a ton. How about these guys? Their thrust probably is at full, yeah. But I like these little ones. I find these big thruster blocks are just ridiculous. How are the actuation toggles? Yeah, turn off yaw, pitch, and roll. Don't need RCS for that. Same thing here. Oh, yaw, pitch, and roll. Okay, good. RCS build aid comes out. Mike and Ike for the stream name. I like that. All right. Good golly. 1340? I think this is looking really good with a 1.44 thrust to weight ratio. I feel like I might want to go down to 3 of these rather than 4, but I like having an even number so that you can disable them symmetrically. You know, if you go to 3, there won't be one opposite to the other one, and then if one goes, then it's going to be, your thrust will be unbalanced no matter what you do. Okay, let's look at action groups, and then I'll do a final sort of a checker. So, toggle the antenna in service bay is on 0. Nothing on 5. Probably toggle the ladder can be on 1. Cool. And on the gear action group, I'm turning on the gear and those landing lights. Groovy. And on the light action group, I don't have the illuminators anywhere. Nope. I think this is good. Okay, we just got to get it there. Okay, close that. Were there Kerbals while I was thinking about this? Good, good, good. So that delta V is accurate. Okay, let's just go through our checklist here and make sure there's no contract involved. It has control. KOS probe body, it should have that because the min-miss one, I can see it tucked in there. There's a KOS probe body there. Cabin space is configured. It must have been configured back when it's got pressure control. This thing's been used a lot on min-miss. I did a lot of landings on min-miss, so that should be okay. Oxygen, food, and water. See, this is why I like reusing this because I shouldn't have to do anything with all of this. Oh, put some Kerbals in it. Oh, there were Kerbals in it. Okay. Where's my checklist back? Oxygen, food, and water. So... Oh, 5 days. I'm sorry. 5 days of water. 5 days of oxygen. That's fine. They're not going to spend too much time. Waste, I don't care about. Radiation protection, I don't care about. Science, it should have all the science. What kind of... I don't think I've unlocked really anything new in terms of science recently. I have the seismic accelerometer, but I got landers to do that because it takes 14 days. Yeah, everything that's new takes so long to do. The Grab Max takes 90 days to collect all that science. Nope, nope, nope. I think I'm good. I think I'm good for science. Power generation. I see solar panels there. Electrical storage, I'm going to assume, is fine. Antenna strength. That should have a Communitron on here somewhere. Yep, right there. Antenna speed doesn't matter. Data storage, I'm sure that's been set up. Propulsion's been dealt with. RCS has been dealt with. Parachutes are irrelevant. Thermal protection irrelevant. It's got lights. Upgrades on the engines, very, very good. I'm glad I went through the checklist. So I want to take these Twitch engines. Right now they have 33 ignitions, but if I go to reliability and change this up to high, it now has 60, and I want them to be high. It's going to be a crude lander that's going to be used over and over and over and over again. So, bumpity bum bum bum. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. It brought down the Delta V a little bit because they're a little heavier. What about the observation arm? That rover arm? This guy? I'm not going to use that on this because you got to come right up beside a rock, and that's for a rover. Actually, I've already exhausted that on the moon. I had a rover that did that, and so that's kind of done. If that's what was meant there, Dan. Cargo, we went through the cargo. TWR is fine. Oh, this is for the booster. Okay. So I think this is a thing. Okay, let's see. Let's see if we can get this thing into some sort of semblance of an orbit. So this is now a moon lander, not a Minmus lander. Okay. And how much mass is we talking about here? We're talking 4.5 tons. So we're going to go into our booster collection. Our booster collection here. Range them by mass. I want something a little less. This is gonna... You know what? I'm getting a little tired of these boosters. I'm gonna do something new. Let's do something new. Yeah. Because what I want to build, like to get out to the moon is what? 860, 280 for the capture. I just am doing a tutorial on this video. That's what I was doing this morning. So that's why these numbers are in my head. So 1140. If I can get around 2,000 or so, I want to get about... Then I can handle the upper... Yeah. In my tutorial series, I've been, I think, doing a better job. Let's do that. Oh, we need to get some clearance here, don't we? Okay, let's get a little doobird like this. That should work. And then a fairing base. Actually, let's get another one of those. So I want to build the transfer vehicle, is what I'm doing here. And I was going to 2.5 meter fairing. Oh, this is a 1.875, isn't it? 1.875 meter fairing. And I was going to just grab one of my stock boosters, but honestly, I think I'm going to start just there. Oh wait, that should go right up the top. What am I doing? Delete. Delete you. Let's start again. Build fairing. So around that, straight up. Not quite straight up. There. 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 Okay. Clamshell deploy. Jump up the four sides because it's kind of big. Okay, now we're going to... Boop, boop, boop. Okay. build something that can get this thing to the moon. So I want an 8.75 meter tank. Oh, these are arranged these by name, so they're in not a stupid order. Like maybe this one. Let's stick an engine under it. Poodle's probably too much. Skipper. That Cheetah's always a nice dependable engine. So I'd like about 2... Oh, this is in a funny spot. This should be at the bottom. There we go. I'd like about 2,000 in this stage, so this is too not enough. That was about this tank. 1804, it's not bad. Maybe get a small one in there. There we go. I like it. 21. I'm looking for something that can handle the top part of the ascent as well, so I'm thinking that's not so bad. So we got a Cheetah engine there. That looks pretty nice, I think. This look better if I flip it and do this. So the little lines there kind of match up. There we are. That looks a little better. Okay. And let's get a decoupler. So that's our transfer out there. And let's get a decoupler here. Decoupler, the 1.8, what is it? The 18? I think so. Oh, that's yucky. Okay, we'll delete. It's because of the stupid engine thinks it's a... I hate that. Okay, let's get this decoupler. I always want these to be clean, and the game conspires against me. There's a great mod for making these shrouds any shape that you want, and I should install it. It really is good, but I don't have it right now, so I'm gonna just waste my time with another one of these fairings just to clean that up a bit. Okay, and now I need to get, what's the total gotta be to get to the moon? It's 1140. I'm doing this, oh gosh darn it, I have a calculator in front of me, but it's 280 for the capture, 860 for the transfer, and then about 3,600 for the ascent, about 4,740 meters per second at delta V. See if I can get away with that guy, and then we'll go to 2.5. Do I still not have the Jumbo 64? That's wild. Told you I need science. Let's see. How are my engines here? Mainsail engine on the bottom. And I'm looking for a total of 47. Oh my god, that's way too much. I can get away with a lot less. Might be able to get away with less of an engine too. What? How can I get away with so much? Oh, because I'm counting the... Okay, I understand. I'm counting the... what's in the lander. Let's fix that up by simply taking these out of the equation here. There we go. So I need this to be about 4740, 4800 we'll call it. So this is enough, so we can actually lose this bottom one, maybe get a slightly smaller one. Actually, I can get away with a smaller engine, I think, too. This one. 4750, but the thrust on the bottom is 2.90. That's kind of berserk, so I don't need that big an engine. Let's scale this down to... Let's see, that's the mainsail. What about a skipper engine? That's looking pretty good. Oh no, it's not enough. No, it won't be enough. Skipper's not enough, and the mainsail's too much. Oh, I don't want to just use a mainsail just to use it. What's this one? 650. I think I'm going to have to go with the mainsail because I don't think I have a better alternative. That's okay. It's a lot of thrust, but... don't know why I switched those. Okay, where are we for... I'm going to put in a set of big reaction wheels right in here. Those guys, right? Oh, those are the really big ones. Those ones, yeah. And some small tail fins. And some launch clamps. There. Fix up our staging here a little bit. All the fairings should be together. This should be together. And I think I'm going to do a test launch. Let's get the Kerbals out, because this has got a lot going on in it. Action groups. Let's put our fairings onto action group 5. Okay, fairing staging I checked. Okay, so that's done. All right, let's give this... oh, and I need to tweak down the thrust to weight ratio because it's way, way too high. Should be good. Should be good. Okay, let's do a test launch. So I'm going to use the KRASH simulator here. We're going to launch this at the launch pad. This way I can revert. It costs me a little bit of money, but then this gives me permission to revert because I do have a bit of a rule in this game. As long as the Kraken doesn't attack, then I don't do reverts. So I use the KRASH simulator to keep me honest here. So this is a test launch. We'll see how it works. The engine plate acts as a decoupler. That's true. Oh, yes, I forgot about this. Yeah, I gotta use the engine plates more. I honestly I keep forgetting about them. Let's see. KOS. Oh, I know what's the problem here. Okay, I know one thing I want to fix. I have to... there's a list. What is on this drive here? There is nothing. So switch to the 0 drive. Run long. I can fix all this very soon, but 080N. So you like my nice wireframes here, telling me this is indeed a oh, and I got a staging mishap right away. Yeah, and yeah. Okay, we're gonna let's terminate the simulation. Let's try this again. So the staging was messed up. Oh my gosh. I forgot to put the thrust back to 100. Thank you very much. Mist exists. So lots of things going wrong. I'm being asked in the chat by Eric, why do my launch clamps, and in fact you'll probably notice a number of the parts look quite a bit different. The reason they look different is because I have the restock mod installed, which adds a whole lot of textures, changes a lot of the stock textures. I honestly think they look quite a bit better. Okay, so let's go through the list of things that I have been messing up here. Number 1, these guys need to go back to 100. Whoop, that's that. Number 2, I need to get to this KOS computer core here and change. I messed around with the boot files. That's what, so there was a mistake there. So that should be fine now. That's a hard one to explain, but there. And this staging at the beginning is not right. And that's now should be all right. This should now be 0.33. That's good, good, good. Now people were talking about engine clamps. Maybe I should got or engine plates. I don't use... I agree. I do not use these enough. So these are decouplers too. So people are saying instead of right here, if I remove this business, turn this the other way around, put the shroud back on. We still do that. See, I still have the same issue though with this stupid shroud because of this being a... I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm gonna go back to what I had. I think what I had worked fine. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. This should be good. Okay, save it. Simulate again. There's no Kerbals, right? This should go up autonomously. Yes. Simulate. Boosters. We don't need no boosters. Oh, did I put the stage or the engine plate upside down? I was going by the way the little arrow was looking on it. The little decoupling arrow. But I could have done something upside down. I don't know. Okay, let's see now. This is what that boot file does, is it brings up this window automatically, and all I can do is go straight into my launch here. Okay. Let's see how she does this time. Should be a lot less adventurous. Off. Oh, turn that off. So let's see if this fella can put itself into orbit. I'll explore. I'm seeing talking in the chat about the engine plates. I really need to explore them on my own sometime. My issue is that I make my tutorials without any of the DLCs, though I don't have those engine plates. And so I get used to just working around them. But I'm not in the mood to sort of fiddle with them. We'll see. We'll see if this gets back. When we get this back down, I'll take one last look at that engine plate. Okay. Anyway, this seems to be ascending nicely. So far, so good. I'm always never sure. Oh, these should come out of the staging group altogether. Let me fix that right now. So let's. Can I take it out of? I can't. So I'm going to move this. The program deploys them without staging, so I should remove the fairings from the staging diagram. The program will stage them when the altitude is appropriate. What is this simulator? This is the KRASH simulator, of course spelt with a K, so KRASH. That's just what it's called. And so what it does is it charges you a nominal amount. You can see it ticking up here at the top to run a simulation. Basically, you can do the same thing in the stock game by just using the console menu that you get by using Alt 12, but this kind of keeps you honest, I think. So you're paying a little bit for this simulation. If things go wrong, it's just a simulation. But if you know, then when I go for real, if things go wrong, I gotta live with it. Unless it's the Kraken, which then I'll decide whether I decide to live with it or not. And all we're looking at is, will this fella get into orbit and leave me with enough delta V to get this thing into orbit of the moon? And the answer to that question is yes. Then we're just going to flat out just launch it and take this thing to the moon. Well, you're very, very welcome there. I'm sorry, is it Stegelin? Stegelin Studio? What happened? Oh, no. My mistake. And that just went. Okay, so what happened there is I forgot to put a smart part on that stage. So smart parts, everybody in the chat, remind me I need to put a smart part on that stage to stage that lower booster for me. The fairings deployed nicely, so that was good. And Despite all that, I think it's still going to get up there fine. So you put the engine plate above the engine. Okay. I guess hence why it's called an engine plate. Alright, almost at our target apoapsis, at what point this engine will shut off. That's it. We gotta get ourselves into space. Get itself oriented here, so it's gonna be, what's that, 152 meters per second here. If I... I mean, we can just do the math here. It's clearly going to get into orbit. That's going to leave me with 11, 10. Oh, no, I'm just not subtracting right. 14, about 1455? That's right. 1,455 meters per second, which easy peasy can get myself into orbit about the moon, so I don't need to. Let's end the simulation, terminate the simulation. It's going to work fine. It's going to work fine. Now, I do have to put that one... KOS part on there, and then as I'm being encouraged in the chat by, I'm also going to take a look again at engine plates. So number one is the Drain X1 smart part. Again, this is a mod, really nice mod. We'll put it here. So this is going to look to see for when the liquid fuel hits down to 0, and then at that point it will stage for me. Noticing that is upside down, but that's because I have the tank upside down. So there we go. So that's that. Okay, engine plate. One last look at the engine plates. So I'm going to take this off. Going to take this off. So people are telling, take the engine off. So people are telling me, take the engine plate. Is it, this one's the one? Like that? Put it there, and then the engine goes there. And then this just goes here. And then you put the shroud on. I typically stage the fairings at about 50 kilometers. Do I have that right? Because to me this doesn't feel right. Put this at the bottom node like that? That looks like shit on a stick. I'm sorry. I'm going to play with this at some other time. I know I'm doing it wrong, and I know I'm frustrating the heck out of people in the chat. I will play with it on my own time. I'm happy with what I got. I think I'm going to live with it. Okay, so that is that. I got my smart part on. I got that on. Again, the staging is still sensible. Oh, I want to take this and this out of the staging diagram. Okay. What is this guy? Oh, I still got the engine plate there. Oh, 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 oh. Silly engine plate. Okay, now I got to build this fairing again. It doesn't help that there is about a 10-second lag between me and the chat, so that doesn't help in communication either. Okay, we're going to save that. Let's launch. Let's do it. Let's do it. Yeah, that's not a simulation. Let's do it. Okay. We're going to get this thing to the moon. And maybe we'll even get some more Kerbals in space. Unless more things go wrong, which is always an option. Alright. And we're off. Again, waterfall providing those wonderful engine sounds and engine plumes. And I was complaining about the mainsail because there's way too much engine for this thing, but I just didn't have a good intermediate engine to put in there. But oh my gosh, it sounds glorious, so I'm okay with the mainsail. Where's my there? Nope, no Kerbals aboard this guy. Kerbals go up in a separate vehicle. That's done intentionally. I only put Kerbals into vehicles that I can safely abort their launch and get them back down to the surface safely. If something went catastrophic, like for instance this engine failed right now, and this thing's suborbital, if there were Kerbals in here, there'd be no way for me to save them, or at least it'd be very, very, very unlikely. So, no Kerbals aboard here. And again, yeah, engine failures are an option. That can happen. So unless it has an abort system, it is going up uncrewed. You attach the lower stage to the engine plate, not the engine. Okay. So you put the engine up. Okay. I thought that's what I had before, but I'll figure it out one day. You know what is the solution? Again, I should just install it. I should write myself a note. I'm going to write it down right now. Is the engine shroud is the name of the mod. I'm writing it down. I believe it's called Engine Shroud or something like that, and it allows you to modify the stock shrouds by changing their diameters and putting on textures, and it saves this thing about having to use engine plates or these fairings in between to do that. So now this time, when this lower stage runs out, it should stage, because the smart part here should trigger, except for the fact I have it on the wrong stage. Oh my gosh, so I'm gonna have to stage manually. The smart part should be down here. This tank's not being drained right now, dummy. You dummy. But at least I noticed it. Okay, so I'm gonna have to stage manually here. I can see I'm just about done. There we go, now we're on this stage. Oh, and I still don't have, I thought I fixed that. Okay, so we got the stock texture on the cheetah. That's kind of annoying. I put the smart part on the wrong stage. Gosh. Gosh. Oh well, it's working now. In fact, what I probably should do is, I think I can disable this. Can't I? Yeah. Just turn that off. I don't have to worry about it doing something funky on me when I'm not expecting it. Alright. And I like these little... I love this, the MEM. I believe that's what they call it, isn't it? Yeah, the Munar Excursion vehicle, or module. It looks so good. I wish these thruster blocks on it were not as powerful as they are. But maybe that's just me. I'm someone, I just don't like how powerful the RCS is in the game. I find it actually more of a hindrance than when docking. Okay, so this should be setting up our circularization. Here we go. Got that burn coming up in 2 minutes. Do a little time warping. I thought, yeah, Bob Kerman Industries is saying that to get the cheetah plume, you need to install the stock waterfall effects, which I thought I had done, but clearly either didn't do. Might have been just I thought I did it, and therefore thinking of doing it, of course, and doing it aren't entirely the same thing. Or I did it and did something wrong, which is also possible. But clearly I didn't have the waterfall. But I will look into getting the stock waterfall effects here. I'll write that one down too. A lot of notes being made for next time. Okay, and we are just about to make our burn here. Yep. There we go. The cheetahs, I use the cheetah a lot. Like it is a great intermediate engine between the poodle engine and the terrier engine. So it does come up with, you know, vehicles like this. So it is a very, very useful engine. Alright, and we are in orbit, and that's complete. We're switching to the vehicle. The burn is done. We can put this onto here, and we can plot our course out to the moon. Nice, see, nice. Let's turn things off. Oh, I know what else is going to happen. Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm thinking out loud, which is always never a good plan, really, is it? Move this around here. We have to rendezvous with something in a polar orbit about the moon, so it's very, very likely this is going to have to wait a little bit before it can make its burn. And I'm thinking, in the meantime, while it waits, why not get some Kerbals involved, some Kerbals in orbit, and get them to a vehicle and get them going to the moon so they can all make the transfer at the same window. Because the issue is, hold on, this is what we got to rendezvous with. And I can already tell, let's bring this in closer, that, oh, well, actually, we might not be bad. We might be lucky. We may get lucky. I should probably get those Kerbals up anyway. See how we're just, you know, you want to avoid having to make a plane change, even though this angle's really small between, you know, our target orbit and the moon here. But all you got to do is like pop ahead some orbits, do it a little bit later, and then that angle changes. So now if I adjust the timing here a bit, so by doing it a little later, I got some ideas. Hey, look at that. Now we got like pretty much zero inclination, or very, very small inclination change we're going to make. Now that burn's coming up in an hour and 30 minutes. Huh. I'm thinking. Let's add that to the alarm clock. I might get multiple things going here. That's always dangerous, but I'll do it. 5-minute warning. Because what I'm looking at, let's get back to here. What I'm looking at is I have another ship capable of getting to the moon that is sitting on this space station, which is in a 6-degree inclined orbit because it's in an orbit that matches Mimis's orbit. But what I'm thinking is the KSC going... The KSC, oh my gosh, here's the KSC. It is just about underneath this orbit. Let's take advantage of these windows that are coming up. I'm gonna fly. Okay, we're going to Space Center. We're gonna do some Kerbals. We're gonna get some Kerbals in space. Get more things going on. I had a bad start, so I got to redeem that by getting more things on, more things going. There's nothing wrong when you're reverting back to the VAB, in my humble opinion. We're going to go into the spaceplane hangar here. And we're going to get some Kerbals in space. It's been a while since I've launched some Kerbals in space. We can get rid of this. I do have my... There it is, the Dart 2 W2. This is my little ferry ship for getting Kerbals up and down into space. And I want to get it to that what's called the Mimis Gateway Station, because at the Mimis Gateway Station is docked the Nerve 1-SN2. And it is a No, we're going to take out you people. And it is more than capable of getting itself to the moon. So if I can get this to the station and then transfer them to the other ship. So what I want up there, because we are going to operate that science lab and the lander, I want to get up a couple of scientists. And I want to get up a pilot. So let's take a look first of all at another pilot here. I want a pilot. Do they not tell? Do I have to look this? Okay, here we go. So you've been in orbit about the moon, though you've never landed on the... Valentina has never landed on the moon. Wow. Might be taking up Valentina. Okay. Rob DV has orbited the moon. Michael A has only done a flyby of the moon. I'm taking my... Someone who's going to take the most... Lieutenant Alec has done a flyby of the moon. Lieutenant Kim. Lieutenant Kim? Are you serious? Lieutenant Kim has never been in space. She is level 2 because there's these goofy leveling up contracts that you can do with airplanes. I cannot remember what mod puts them in there. But I'm looking at this. Her log just says special experience. She's never been into space. Okay, that has sealed that deal. Now let's take a look at our scientists. Dan P, who's not only here, but also in the chat. Come on. Why? There it is. Dan, or maybe I'm hoping Dan's still here in the chat. But Dan P has orbited the moon. Again, I want to try and get the person who's going to get the most out of this. John N has orbited the moon. Mac the G has only ever flown by the moon. Philip DS has orbited the moon. Legui has orbited the moon. And Hector has never been to the moon, though has planted a flag on Minmus. So Hector is in, and there was one, Mac the G, who has only ever flown by the moon. Okay, there we go. There's our crew. We're going to send them. They're on their way to the moon. So save that. Launch. Launch, launch, launch. Kerbal Academy. Thank you, Clay. Kerbal Academy is what adds those contracts that gives you special experience. Yeah. It's nice to have a few different ways in which to gain experience. I like Kerbal Academy, but I just forgotten temporarily what mod it was. Lately, I've not been paying too much attention to contracts, I think is why. Okay, so we're going to plunk you down. Now, what I've got since the last time I've flown this, which I'll admit was a long time ago, is I now have a Spaceplane Script. Edit Spaceplane Launch. There it is. That is a blank. Okay, I think I need to exit this. I think I need to... There's no files here, is there? Oh, I know what happened. It created one. Okay. There's no files here. Nope. Okay. So this one's missing the boot too. Switch to 0. List. There are all my programs. Spaceplane. I'm pretty sure I called it SP Launch. Yes. Edit SP Launch. And I've not really shown this to anybody yet, except I made a short where I used it. And so I'm just making sure I'm going to use it right. It takes 2 parameters, one for your desired inclination and one for your desired altitude. And I just want to make sure I get the order of those right. Ascends plane to orbit takes 2 parameters, desired inclination, keep small please, and altitude. So inclination first, then altitude. Okay. So we're going to be running SP Launch 6 because that station's in an orbit at, and there. Okay. So, but we still have to launch at the right window. So our station is this fella. That's our target. And we want to launch... Center this on Kerbin. Yep. we want to launch when the launch site is under this orbit. And then we'll worry about rendezvous. I'm not going to worry too much about where the station actually is, but getting into the right inclination. I'm going to stop a little early, because it does take a few minutes for this thing to get up there. Maybe about there. It's kind of an eyeballing affair as it is anyway. Oh, wait a second. Kerbal Engineer. Kerbal, doesn't it give me time to... Yeah, we're 3 minutes away. I think it's a good time to launch right now. We're 3 minutes away from it. From the node. Kerbal Engineer is telling me. So we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. And now I'm taking my hands away and I'm hoping this works, because it's broke this like 2 months ago. And I'm hoping I'm not forgetting anything. So it's off. Tearing down the runway. And I hope you know what you're doing. I'm very nervous. Look at that. Automation at its finest. And now it's skewing over to a heading. Oh, shoot. Oh, shoot. Oh, I'm going to the north. I should be going to the south. Okay, I'm sorry. I know I said I don't revert, but I want to revert this because... Revert back to launch. I'm sorry. I know I said just now I don't revert, but I'm launching the wrong way. And I could have just aborted the script and flown it normally, and I'm sure I would have been fine. But I want the script. I want to show everybody how the script works. So that's going to require... So I'm sorry. I know I just lied saying that I don't... So I need to go to the south. To the south 6 degrees. It was angling the wrong way. So this is switch to 0. Oh my gosh. Run. I want to show everybody this. Launch -6 degrees 80. Okay. I have to get back to my window. Where's that? Get rid of that. That can be on. Okay. Let's try this again. I'm sorry about that. Set that as target. Center this on Kerbin. Set as a target. There we go. Oh no, I can do this from Kerbal Engineer. Sorry, I keep forgetting that. So I'm going to go to about maybe 4 minutes towards the launch. Maybe 4 minutes. I think that's about as long as it takes. I don't know. We'll see. 4 minutes before we're at that node. Just to account for the amount of time it takes for this thing to get up into orbit. Okay, there we go. Doing it again. All right. All right. So after saying that I don't like to revert, there I am, I'm reverting. But I really want to show that... Actually, I want to see that this thing does work without me having to do anything. I can't believe this is Lieutenant Kim's first time into space. Oh my gosh. There we go. So we're off, and now it's heading over towards the south. And the reason I knew it was towards the south is because if you look at the angle of this yellow orbit here, it's going towards the south. And really, this thing should be able to... This thing should do everything now. So it's going to just... I have some sort of ascent profile that I fiddled with and tweaked. And it seems to work okay. It might not be generalizable to other space planes. I will admit that. Yep. And of course, I should also keep track of, I do have here, in an hour and 10 minutes, I got to make that ejection out towards the moon, and it would be super lovely if I could send these 3 out towards the moon at the same time, take advantage of that same window. It's that or wait 3 days. That's when the next window will come. There's 2 windows per lunar orbit, and Munar orbit, and the moon has a orbital period of 6 days, so you get a window every 3 days. See how close this comes to the inclination as well. But, Yeah. I see a long discussion going on about RP1 in the chat, which I've dabbled with and considered playing with, but it always, I don't know, if everything goes so much slower, it changes so much. It's a lot of fun though. What am I doing for my inclination here? Inclination, I wish the heading was a little more, I don't know, we'll see. Maybe it knows what it's doing. Who knows? It seems to be flying very well. And all it does, by the way, is yaw the nose to this heading. It doesn't actually like do a proper turn with a plane. So if this inclination were something bigger, like 90 degrees, I would hate to think what the plane's going to do. It's not a proper flight assist by any stretch, that's for sure. All right. Well, yeah, it's only at just over 9 kilometers, so it's still, but now it's starting to really pick up that speed. So the way these whiplashes work is, and with these shock air cones, is the more speed you get, the better these work. So as you're picking up speed, these engines are also picking up thrust at the same time. You can see the thrust increasing, and that means that the rate at which you're picking up speed continues to increase as well. So you end up picking up quite a lot of speed. When this thing gets up to probably around 1100 meters per second would be my guess, it probably will switch. I'm using the word probably a lot. Probably will switch to closed cycle or rocket mode, and these toroidal engines will come on. You just see that speed now rocketing up. And what is the inclination is getting to 5.3 degrees. Again, the target is 6. And I should have also... Oh, I guess I don't have the relative inclination with Kerbal Engineer. It'll give me that when I go to do the rendezvous. Now we're at 1 kilometer per second, still climbing. You can see it's pitched down just a little bit above the horizon. Hello there, Mott 1982. Welcome. Okay, I can see the rate at which it's gaining speed is not increasing, so it should be switching over to closed cycle mode pretty soon. Yeah, it just did it. Closed cycle mode, and then it pitches up, and it's on a new new flight path. And I don't know if it does this better than I do it manually, but it's nice that I don't do anything. So this is going to go until it reaches an apoapsis of 80 kilometers. And it just nerfed the thrust. I was wondering, is it going to do that? And it just did. Nice. Keep the apoapsis from getting too far ahead of us. It'd be interesting to build some different space planes and see how this thing does. It might be very, very specific to this plane. That was a very dramatic plane. I know. It's rough. James Reddington says that was a very dramatic plane change when it pitched up, when it went into closed cycle mode, and lost quite a lot of speed doing that. And yeah, he's 100% right. It's rough. It's got some edges to shave off, that's for sure. But it gets the job done. I am definitely, when it comes to coding, a good enough type of coder. Is like, yeah, that's good enough. It works. All right, and let's see, where are we at? Our apoapsis is now at 55 kilometers. Oh, just locked on to the prograde vector, I believe. That's what it says here. I think actually at this point it's just using the same strip of code that I have for my rocket ascents. I think now it's just completely in rocket mode. But it's that transition between this phase of the insertion and the jet phase of the insertion that I know is a little rough. But it's working. Okay, and I seem happier now. All right, that's it. We've reached our target apoapsis. Let's time warp ourselves into space here. Okay. And then we're going to find out if I can get these folks to the station. Whoa. Just setting up for the burn here. Let's time warp that. Now we're going to find out whether, as soon as this thing's completed its insertion, I'm going to find out whether I can get it to the station in just under an hour. Because in just under an hour, that moon lander's ready to head off. And maybe we can get them all heading off together. We'll see how it goes. The issue is, of course, is that this was really about doing an insertion to match the plane of our target orbit rather than to time it. There we go. Rather than to time it so that I wasn't looking at where the station actually was at all. So we might take a bit of time to get to the station, but the idea was for this blue orbit to be in the same plane as the yellow orbit, and I think it looks pretty good. However, we can see we are half an orbit out of phase with the, so that might be a while before we get there. Oh, well, that's okay. How much food do these folks? They have 3 days of food. I do have to be conscious of that. I can't spend days and days and days doing this. Okay. So I can see here, oh boy, let's, oh, whoa, that was way too much jumping there. Come back. Okay. We are out by a fair bit. If we wait in orbit, it gets better, it gets better, it gets better, it gets better. Is this getting better as I go around or not? There. Yeah, it's getting better. Yeah, unfortunately this burn is coming up in like 3 hours, so we're gonna be probably catching the next window as opposed to this window. Oh well. Let's see if we can at least set this up. I saw 0.9. I saw 1/2 kilometer separation. Okay, let's get this down to jumping just by 1 second intervals and see if I can really dial this to less. 0.1. Oh, I saw 0.1 kilometers. That's fine. So I do have this little 33 meter per second burn that will get me within 100 meters of the station. Unfortunately, that burn's not coming up for another 3 hours and 17 minutes. So what we're going to do is we're going to add that to alarm clock. And I think we're probably going to be getting back to that next week. But we will take care of our Mun Lander. And I gotta remember as well, you know, maybe that's a good idea, is just make a general alarm right now and say, fix your relays. Because I know a week from now I'll probably forget. So I'll make a general alarm right here. Just put it up there like that. Fix your relays. And that'll just stay there for me. But in the meantime, we got this one coming up. And we'll do this burn. So, of course, this alarm's going to come first. Don't delete the alarm. Keep it there. I want that reminder. And yeah, we can keep going around for the next little bit. The Dart 2 batteries are almost empty. Well, that's not good. Okay, shoot. Sorry, I gotta check on that. Just very quickly jump to the ship. It has one set of deployable solar panels, but if their power goes out for any extent, if power goes out, their scrubbers turn off, their scrubbers are off for any period of time, and things go bad really fast for these folks. So let's... Okay, now there's good exposure. Should be okay. Might have been occluded by this tail fin. Let's slide this way. Okay, so I got good exposure now. I got good exposure now on these solar panels. They should be fine. Back to my Mun Lander. Get this done! Okay, I don't need this alarm anymore because it's just about to come up. Turn that off. Open up KOS. Run our maneuver executor. And get this lander off towards the moon. We almost have all the pieces to really start collecting lots and lots of science. They are on their way. So we got this piece, we got our scientists on the first leg of their journey out there. And then that. Now I do realize actually there's one other problem out there. I'm also describe it now, and that'll have to be a problem for the future as well. It's always problems, but there is a ginormous fuel tank on that station about the moon, but that fuel tank is full of nothing but liquid fuel. There is no oxidizer on that station at all. So this lander will be good for one landing, but that might be about it. So I'm going to have to think about how to get some more oxidizer out that way, but that shouldn't be too much of a problem. We can at least get one, maybe two. There might be enough leftover fuel in this to refuel the lander again. Who knows? But this burn here is drawing itself to a close. I think I'm also going to be drawing this stream to a close. So I'm going to be thanking everybody there in the chat, thanking everybody that's watching this at a later date. And as always, a very, very, very special thank you to my Patreon patrons and YouTube members who continue to support this. But I think that's going to be it for this week. Have yourself a fabulous weekend, and we'll see you all again on Thursday. Bye, everybody.